Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Joanna Champney, and I'm so happy to be spending this cold and snowy evening with you all virtually. First, I want to congratulate Daryl on receiving the Vrooman Award. Your knees may be getting bad, but you and Dr. Carter are doing amazing work on our Prison Research Innovation Network project that's engaging incarcerated men in participatory action research at Howard R. Young Correctional Institution with us at DOC. Some people thought we were crazy trying to do a PAR project in a prison, but you are helping us to make that a reality. So please keep it up, and thank you for your tireless work on that project. For the last 6 years, I've been working at the Delaware Department of Correction, overseeing the Planning, Research, and Reentry Division. For me, it's a special pleasure to be participating in a DCJ event because as a former executive director of DCJ, I love seeing this organization thriving and adapting. The board, the staff, supporters, clients, and values of DCJ hold a very special place in my heart. I couldn't be happier to be presenting an award to my dear friend Haneef Salaam tonight, honoring his career helping people coming out of Delaware's prisons and advocating for humane conditions of confinement and better reentry policies in our state. It seems almost like fate that I get to present Haneef with this award tonight. The name of the award, the Stand Up for What's Right and Just, or SURJ Advocate of the Year Award, refers to an organization that DCJ absorbed in 2012 when I became DCJ's Associate Executive Director under Janet Laban, the DCJ director at the time. I was the director of SURJ, a tiny grassroots nonprofit criminal justice advocacy group that was fighting to repeal mandatory minimum drug sentencing in Delaware. When we achieved a total rewrite of one-size-fits-all drug laws in the state, SURJ became the advocacy arm of the Delaware Center for Justice. When I was still working at SURJ, that's when I met Haneef. He was working in the community service building with the Delaware Reentry Consortium, right down the hall from my office at SURJ. I really clearly remember meeting Haneef and thinking, okay, this is a guy I think I want to align myself with. He was passionate about reentry. He spoke with confidence. It didn't matter if he was in a room with other grassroots advocates or in a room with the governor. His message was always consistent and clear, and that message was, we need to give people in prison better opportunities while they are there. We need to help them form meaningful relationships with people who can help support their transition back home. And this work must involve the people who know it best, those with lived experience in prison or on probation. He knew just how bad the justice system can be because he had his own experience with it, and he knew how to talk about it in a way that made people listen up. He connected with formerly incarcerated people, and he also knew how to pivot and do business in a boardroom. He knew how to hustle to meet objectives on a grant, but he also felt the stories deeply of the men and women in his reentry program. And most importantly, he did not walk away from reentry work when a grant ran out or when he encountered a policy roadblock. Haneef's leadership skills landed him the role of president of the board of the Delaware Reentry Consortium, and he later established Building Success, his company, which provides consulting and program planning supporting nonprofits. When Governor Markell established his reentry initiative, Haneef became a community facilitator for that initiative called iAdapt. Now, Haneef works with the Wilmington Hope Commission's Achievement Center as an in-reach coordinator. When COVID isn't ruining all of our plans, he goes into the prisons and runs groups in order to build relationships with men who can then receive services at the Achievement Center once they get out. In whatever spare time he has, he volunteers for the Smart Justice Coalition. The criminal justice reform community in Delaware is really small. The number of people who are committed to this work because it is their life's calling is even smaller. Haneef is the real deal. Having coffee with Haneef always leaves me feeling refreshed and once again, excited about the possibilities of what we could do to reform our prison system. Once when I was really disillusioned with how insurmountable prison reform work was feeling, Haneef called me to tell me he had something he wanted to share with me, something that he had made in his spare time. I was curious and I wanted to check it out. So he brought me a CD, which he had made with formerly incarcerated people in mind, because he believed that people needed a soundtrack to getting their life back on track. Haneef, I listened to that CD on repeat in my office that week, and it was such an encouragement to me not to give up doing this work. I keep it in my drawer in my office, and I put it on when I need a boost. Congratulations on being selected for the SURJ Advocate of the Year Award, Haneef. This award is reserved for people who have identified and addressed a problem in Delaware's criminal justice system and have addressed it through policy or practice. You have done this through direct service, helping formerly incarcerated people land jobs and supporting them so they could stay employed. You have done this through very sophisticated nonprofit administration, running Delaware's first reentry coalition. And you have done this through your work with incarcerated men with the Hope Commission. And you continue to do this through work with the Smart Justice Coalition. Haneef, you are one of the OG reentry gurus in this state. You do the work and you get the work done. And I am so proud to know you and call you my friend. Congratulations on this well-deserved award.
Thank you so much, Joanna. Your kind words really touched me on this evening. And I'd like to thank everybody for watching and who's logged in today. Congratulations to Wolfie and to Albert Rogers, both who were recognized earlier. Receiving this award is still just amazing and humbling to me. And, you know, I was overwhelmed the minute that David called me and told me about the award. But it gave me an opportunity to reflect. And in reflecting, I just think this SURJ Award is so fitting because I've realized that I've been standing up for what's right and just for the past 17 years. Coming home in 2003, I just knew that I would do everything possible to never go back to prison again. After being caught in the probation cycle for over 4 years, not being able to see a full year on the streets due to technical violations, I was done. And that's why one of the reasons I'm a firm supporter of the Smart Justice Coalition and the ACLU is things like People Not Probation, which is a current initiative to modify the probation system and stop incarcerating individuals for technical violations, among other things. But I had a motivational factor because in 2003, reentry wasn't even a term. Most nonprofits and vocational services offered to individuals actually rejected you from services if you had a felony. But I was so determined that I humbled myself and I was willing to take a job at TGI Fridays, waiting tables, just so I could make a way and begin providing for my newborn daughter. In doing that, with my entrepreneurial spirit, I had ambitions of starting a home renovation company and starting my first LLC and began doing side jobs and was fairly successful in that till injured in a serious car accident in 2005, just 18 months after being released and doing good for myself. When I was rehabbing from that injury, I was clueless of what I would do next. I thought construction was the only way. I knew that corporate jobs wouldn't give me an opportunity with a felony, and I just didn't know what I could do to be able to earn a decent living if I couldn't do labor jobs. To my benefit, I learned about Public Allies Delaware in 2005, and it changed my life. Public Allies gave me the ability to start communicating with individuals who were outside of my circle or that knew me. And it also connected me to people that were shaking and moving in politics in the community. And I had the privilege of meeting Marla Blunt Carter, who's been a mentor for me ever since. And she always inspired me to be great and that I could do things despite of my charges. So I heeded that advice. And while at Public Allies, one of the workers at my placement, Goodwill Industries, Maria Washington, introduced me to a group of individuals who were committed to making a change for people coming home from prison. And they said, well, Haneef, you communicate so well, I think you should join this group and you could be a living example of why things need to change. That's why I met two important people to me, John Schufert and Paula Marano. I met them and they gave me an opportunity to speak every chance that they got. And I thought I was just keeping it real, telling people that what they needed to do to be able to change and to be able to help individuals like myself. While doing all this, I was still striving to be great and to be a provider and to be a living example. I took advantage of opportunities that was offered to me to work in Philadelphia and increase my professional skills. And in my free time, I volunteered in Delaware for reentry efforts. You know, that's when I had the opportunity to become president of the Delaware Reentry Consortium. And during this period, you know, I respect Joanna so much because a lot of the ideas that I had as executive director of SURJ, she would jump on as far as policy. When I said, Joanna, it's not right that individuals coming home from jail can't have food stamps. She was on it, got the law changed. When I said, Joanna, it's not right that the mandatory minimums for crack is higher than it is for powder. She was on it, got laws changed. And that's why I always rock with her today, even any position with the state, because I know when we talk about true reform and major change, she's a person that'll take heed. Other people that took heed and gave me opportunity was people like Chandra Pitts. Through a grant with the United Way, she gave me the ability to create a program, work with her, and implement a program for individuals in the community. And through that, that's how I established Building Success. And I began with her the Suitable Men Project. And doing that, Paula Majorano came back around and joined with the United Way efforts and brought me into her organization, and I began the Second Chance Employment Program. All the time, I was just doing this, not realizing that I was standing up for what's right and just at the time. I just wanted to see a change. I continued to work hard, and more doors opened, and more people started to listen. We got the attention of the then newly elected governor, who created IADAT. The first mandate was for all departments to start communicating. It didn't make sense that a person was released, couldn't get benefits from DHS, and it's all a state system. He changed it. He also put a heavy focus on reentry, which allowed for more opportunities for programs and resources. And a lot of people through that journey jumped in and supported and gave me a platform. The state of Delaware did so with IADAT, taking in all of my ideas, being able to do a community resource fair out of probation for individuals. Things like this was unheard of at the time. So now I just continue to strive to help individuals to change policies so that we can have smart justice in Delaware. I'm proud and I'm happy of the changes that have been made, but there's so much more that could be done. We still have a criminal justice system that is unfair, jails that are overpopulated, and individuals who don't have access to the same economic opportunities as others just due to their criminal history and or where they're from. So I will continue to strive. I would like to thank DCJ again for this award. Shout out to Jessica Alicia, the CRSP and program director for the DCJ, who I had the privilege of working with the CRSP program. I had a pleasure of working at DCJ. We also implemented the Healthy Thinking program, which is was a promising practice model inside of Gander Hill, man. Over the past week, I've been reflected on the work that's been done. And there's so many programs, so many policies and things that has been changed, but there's so much more that needs to be done. And I'm gonna continue to stand up for what's right and just. In closing, I'd just like to say, for me, none of this would be possible without my family, my wife, and my 2 kids, Kadira, Jakira, and Jakira. They're my true inspiration for doing everything I do. Thank y'all. It's an honor to receive the award, and I hope everyone will join me as we continue to fight for criminal justice reform and racial equity in Delaware in 2021.